They promised. They promised. They promised my paycheck. Where is my paycheck? Where are the nuggets? We need them nuggets right now. And this is what Fresh Town and me got promised with the rest of the crew, because we are just handsome guys. We just do this so delightfully, and we have a deserved payment. We need to be paid with nuggets. And
100%.
with that, I just welcome you guys back to the ESLOL stream broadcasted by Rift Entertainment. I'm to the window here with the wonderful Fresh Tada.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just really sad that we have no chicken nuggets right now. Really sad.
Oh,
But I'm really happy that we see PERTINAX against DYNASTY. I mean, that's the matchup, right?
that Dynasty plays against PERTINAX, and on the following matchup we are going to have next against Aurora. So 2 games, 4 teams, and 1 ambition. So I'm really motivated to see what all those teams are bringing up to the table now for the following games.
Yeah, definitely. Because PERTINAX actually, like the last game, looked so solid. I mean, and we talked with Makela, and he just said, yeah, they kind of found themselves, and they definitely believe that they might get into playoffs. I mean, last time it was so close. They actually had a tiebreaker with Reapers, and Reapers actually now playing in first div actually. So I mean, that's really amazing, and Makela is really hyped to see if they can do it. They have a new top laner, so there's some things going on in the background, and then of course Dynasty kind of have a slow start, but right now third place team winning their games left and right. So I'm quite excited to see what they can do now. At the moment they are on a 3-game winning streak actually, so Dynasty definitely know how to play as well. And we saw it from Humulu last game, the Rel first pick in the jungle, I guess, or something like that, if I remember correctly. So we might see something like this again if it's not banned.
Already the first few bans. So on the side of Dynasty we're having a Gragas, an Ashe, and an Azir ban, something that now they really do not want to see. On the side of PERTINAX we are seeing an Nico ban and a Ivern ban, followed by Rel.
Yeah, Traplord is playing it a lot, Humulu is playing it a lot. And we actually saw Frankie on his Nico like last game. It was a phenomenal, so just bringing that makes sense. It Hazaki with first pick Renekton, and it's kind of a sad first pick. I mean, normally you think about like the OP, broken, really strong champions you want to first pick, and if Renekton is your first pick, then blue side does not look really good in my opinion. But yeah, that maybe they just had no better one, and Hazaki feels confident against JJS, who is the new one on the block. So yeah, but with that we might see Zayara Khan, we might see just a top lane pick as well, because why should you show more than you need to? And you already see Renekton, and I don't believe that Frankie actually plays Renekton, so that definitely is a top lane pick. And JJS is picking his famous Aatrox. Like, it's his most played champion this season, it's his most played champion last season, and the season before that, and the season not before that. But all since he is a master, his most played champion is Aatrox. So seeing him on this champion makes me really, really happy.
So we're seeing Xayah, we're seeing Aatrox, we're seeing that Nautilus, we're seeing that Renekton. But now this is more like a question because I wouldn't know better. without like the match, like skill wise from the both players, if we are having this matchup Renekton against Aatrox, I mean, in my opinion, 1v1 both perform really good. In skirmishes also really good. I mean, in my opinion, maybe Aatrox has I couldn't say. Tell me which character would perform better on the top side?
Yeah, the thing is, it's all about it's a 100% skill matchup, and actually, it's all around the power spikes. Like Renekton in the early game is a lane bully, so basically can definitely outtrade them. Is stronger in early game, maybe to first item. At the second item, Aatrox is just better than maybe. It almost flips here and there, and it definitely depends on who gets the lead, who gets kills and team fights and stuff. So that team fire, that 1v1 can definitely shift left to right, so I'm quite excited to see it because it's 100% skill. Can you dash in and out of the Qs from Aatrox, or can you stop him in the dash with your own Q, because then the dash got stopped and stuff, so that's definitely a banger matchup. Xayah Braum, by the way, now the bot lane of PERTINAX against Nautilus and Ezreal. So Ezreal is really safe in this lane, can be alone, and Nautilus can even try to roam. So that's big thing of the draft at the moment, that we might see some roams actually from Nautilus. But also, I mean, Braum probably at level 6 can try to roam, just because Xayah is somehow safe against Nautilus, but ultimate is tough, so probably you can't leave Xayah alone. Now just some jungle bans coming out against Tumelu, and some jungle bans against Makala. And actually the Kayn ban, we talked with Makala about his Kayn red pick on 5, and he said, yeah, it was just a really good Kayn pick, so he just liked it, and that's the reason why he picked it, and now it's banned.
The Kazakhs, okay, so we are having the next pick is an assassin on the side of PERTINAX.
Yeah, I have somehow a problem with that, because now you only engage as Braum a little bit, and Aatrox running in, so not really the best engage right now by PERTINAX. You have slows into Braum, but I mean, it's not that strong, so they either play a little bit more for we get engaged and we try to disengage and try to just kite them a little bit, and that's really good in their comp with Xayah Braum. But if they want to play aggressive, that could be really tough against this team comp now with fully poking, and normally, I mean, we see it with LeBlanc, with Ezreal and Karma, they have just a poke comp right now, so against poke, hard engage is the best thing you can have, and you don't have hard engage right now. Syndra with the stun, but it's really luck dependent. So right now, I think Dynasty definitely outdrafted them a little bit just by team comp standards.
I'm really totally on your opinion, that because I'm really this friend of like having this front assassin. Also scaling wise, I think that PERTINAX on that moment. Yeah, no, I mean, okay, they're pretty equal, I think, scaling-wise. I mean, Ezreal scales pretty good, where Syndra scales pretty good. They do had a lot of crowd control, but I think with LeBlanc jumping in and out, they do have to take care about their Xayah not getting bursted by it, because Ezreal can always follow up with the ultimate. Nautilus really to be taken care of.
Yeah, one big problem I see right now with the team comp of PERTINAX actually is that they pretty much even got outdrafted with this Nautilus flex. Because normally it was a Braum picked into a Nautilus, which is really good, because if Nautilus hooks in, you can just instant stun him, knock him up. Like, Braum is a really good hard counter to Nautilus, and that's the reason why they now swapped in jungle and got the Karma, because Karma crushes Braum actually. So they just got a winning bot lane with this Bamboozle, And because of that, and it's kind of skill matchup top lane, but now with Nautilus hooks, you can definitely try to help out Hasagi on the top lane. And mid lane matchup is also skill dependent. So we have two side lane matchups who are really skill dependent, but with Nautilus having a little bit better of a setup than Kha'Zix. So if Kha'Zix want to gank, then both top laners need to be in a big fight, or if Kha'Zix want to gank mid, Sunta needs to hit the stun, which is harder than to hit the chains, for example. So it's really tough for Makala to do something there, and bot lane also. Bot lane will probably just push in, and you don't really have setup if Braum is pushed in, right? So for Makala, the whole game plan is really hard. Renekton should have prio early game. LeBlanc should have prio early game mid lane. The Ezreal Karma of course has prio, so Makala can't really invade. Makala can't really go for ganks. He has so much pressure under his belt now, so that's a really big draft gap in my opinion, coming from Dynasty.
So now we are having the gap issue for the draft issue, but will it also show that in having this better draft for the opposite team, will they also stick to their plan? Will they consistently perform it as it's meant to be? This is also again this very big phenomenon that we are going to follow now in this game. I mean, on the side of PERTINAX, I'm really ambitious to see what this Syndra is going to do, because even though with the Nautilus they have a really strong engage, she can always like disengage him, and Braum staying in the way, in my opinion, it's like a really good pick in that moment. For me, it's all about the execution at that moment.
Yeah, definitely. Especially those two solo lanes, because they are so skill dependent to win. That's like if one of them makes a huge misplay, the other one can win, and that counts for all those champions. LeBlanc can crush Syndra, as well as Syndra can crush LeBlanc. For the top lane, it's the same, and those two junglers, and Makala is really like the star player and like the single hope of PERTINAX, in my opinion, to really get this team into playoffs. And he has so much pressure now with 3 pushing lanes into him, and with like really hard solo laners because they are harder to play, and and with a bot lane which is just instantly losing just from draft. So and those two junglers can do so much in this game, because if Humulu just gets 2 or 3 good ganks, yeah, the game could be over. And with that, PERTINAX really has a difficult task actually, and I'm quite exciting to see if Makala can carry his team, and that's one thing. I think that Mr. Hub actually in his latest games played so good individual as an ADC, that if you can somehow get him in a good position, maybe you can do something that, but in this lane it's basically over. I mean, Karma Ezreal, you never will have any fun with Sire, so it's a really tough situation PERTINAX have drafted themselves into.
I totally agree on that. So and now we are into the game. Perfect. We are back in the Rift. Dynasty against PERTINAX. We see the first pings from both teams. Maybe Dynasty trying to go a little bit more aggressive on the top side. On the side of PERTINAX, it does a little bit look more like that they're going for the classical let's close the doors.
The 5-man, the cover, the sticking, however you want to call it. Oh no, that's basically not the same. The 5-man, it's not the same like the stacking. Holy shit, what am I talking about? Yeah, closing doors. That's actually a good description about the 5-man. Just because you basically close every single door, right? And there comes a little invade, but probably just for early vision. Because Nautilus, as most tanks in tanks versus assassins or tanks versus bruiser matchups, you don't want to face the assassin or the bruiser. Because usually if you face check him, he basically kills you. So that's the reason why he wants some early vision, some early information about Makala to maybe avoid him. But actually with Aftershock, Nautilus definitely is a good dual land in a 1v1, so we might see him searching for trouble. But the isolation part of Kha'Zix just makes him so strong.
Little trades on the mid lane, little trade on the bot lane.
It hurt. Not hitting the mantra Q. It's the first Q of her, and not hitting it just hurt. I'm sorry. Oh no, the second Q. Oh no, oh no, the poke lane is not working, dude. The poke lane is not working. It's funny to see.
We have a lot of tension on the top side, trying to get the upper hand on the mid lane. Where LeBlanc is kind of looking a little bit behind in HP. And Aatrox, a lot of skirmishes on top line.
Yeah. Really good shit, by the way. Just blocking a whole mantra Q feels so good. Like one thing I actually find kind of funny is that Frankie somehow plays on a different patch than all of the other. Oh, invade from Humulu!
We're having the fights.
Oh no, it was not Humulu, it was Hasagi. Holy shit, Hasagi, what are you doing, man?
A lot of tension on the top side. Kha'Zix that is just not allowed to enter his jungle. Oh, we see that Aatrox is moving and helping Kha'Zix so he can go back into his jungle. And so he can move on with the farming. And this is also something Kha'Zix has to kind of be aware of because of this really strong skirmish power Renekton has in the early games. Even though Aatrox is on the top side, but the damage is just enough to just burst him and leave before Aatrox is able to follow up if he should be taking the minions on the top side. Yeah. Ooh! Wonderful talk on the top side, and we're having a fight between two topsiders, but it was more a little trade.
Yeah, like I think one thing is definitely clear after this early game. Like I said, there are just too many pushing lanes, too much pressure on Makala. I mean, Hasagi just invaded him, and in the meantime, bot lane gets pushed in. So that just shows you guys that those early game focused lanes just having so much individual power that you can nearly do nothing in the jungle. And I mean, he is one camp also behind. Double scuttle for Humulu. So, and now Makala goes for his second clear with double longsword, so he already was base. But Humulu kinda has like the tempo lead, but he still needs to go base, but he has one camp more, so it all is like some advantages, some disadvantages. Let's see what those two junglers can do, and that's by the way, Leolas wanted to freeze the wave, and then of course Graplord don't want him to freeze, so he needs to stop him. That's his ADC has a better time, and that worked out wonderfully for the bot lane of Dynasty. But one point I wanted to make, but probably can't because top lane could be kinked, is that like Frankie just plays on 12.12 at the moment. I mean, Nico got nerfed, he still plays it. LeBlanc got nerfed, or at least Static got nerfed, he still plays it. So this man just thinks it's the older patch right now, and maybe it works out. Maybe we all are just too scared of those little nerfs, or maybe he shows us that LeBlanc is just not that strong anymore. I mean, she just lost Static, or just lost the scaling on Static. So basically, that's the only nerf. But it was so strong that you just played it because of that. And now without the scaling, it might be not the strongest build anymore. So could be interesting to see if it's still strong or if it's just a normal LeBlanc who had a funny build path.
Funny build path. In my opinion, it's maybe a little bit about the experience. Even though things are nerfed, doesn't mean cannot be played. And also, this could be really helpful. I mean, looks like she's going for the static build first. So, is though really helpful to push pretty fast the waves. I mean, just to clear the waves and get your farm. On the top side, we see a lot of aggression from Renekton to Aatrox. We see that he really is going for every little trade that he can go and try to get this health advantage. Though it looks like that Aatrox is really keeping on, like, he's keeping up to the damage since he has a lot of life steal in his kit. A lot of damage on the side of the bot lane. We see that they're going for the support, but he's not gonna die. A lot of aggression on the side of Dynasty. We see that they just really do not have a lot of options at the moment on the bot side.
Oh, like I said, it's instantly losing this lane matchup. I mean, support matchup is bad, ADC matchup is kinda bad. No, there's a big engage.
We have Aatrox going in with the stun, and he gets the first stun on LeBlanc, but Renekton tries to follow and get more damage on... So much flashes, everybody is flashing! But nobody dies. Oh, re-engage, and we have the first blood for the Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, he traded 1-for-1, but that was really risky from him to just face check it, and now the PERTINAX mid laner is kinda on the wrong side.
Ooh, we have the stun from the LeBlanc and the second kill for Renekton on top side.
Yeah, now the top lane matchup is over. Congratulations, but now the crocodile has been fed and probably will crush for the rest of the game. And also, like, the 2 assists on the LeBlanc definitely help out her to get static. Just the combination costs are missing right now. Botline is down in like 2 waves of minions, but just because of the poke, you can't really stay there, you can't really farm a lot, so it all just feels really miserable. And Renekton probably after his recall has a full item. Yes.
Yes, he does have. It looks really good though for on the side of this, Dynasty, since they're having like this 2k gold difference at 10 minutes and the first Drake. It looks also like they're going... No, that is yes, Dynasty. They're going to prepare for the Herald, but Aatrox is checking it and not going to leave it. We have Herald on half HP. But it doesn't seem like that Aatrox is going to contest it, since Renekton is back on top side. We have the pushing wave from the PERTINAX. Oh, and a lot of aggression on both sides. Where Xayah though has the ability to push the wave down to the tower so that they can rotate and play forwards, or even for even more vision.
Yeah, but this game for PERTINAX already looks tough. I mean, 2k behind after 10 minutes, 1 Drake already behind, Herald got taken by Humanu, so you get even more platings. You got so many platings on bot lane anyway, so it's so hard right now for PERTINAX to even do something. Just because the team comp does not give anything for them, and they need to wait so long. I mean, even if they find a good catch, they can't really catch someone. They only engage is Kha'Zix jumping in, Aatrox jumping in, or Pro ultimate. So you can't force, you can't catch, you can't do anything. So this team comp just sits there, hopes to get engaged, and hopefully disengage and kill them. But that's just a really not active game plan. It's rather a reacting game plan, and that's usually not the best idea.
We have the Herald being placed on the bot side, and Kha'Zix also joining to the bot lane fiesta. Oh. We have a lot of damage from Ezreal coming in, but that was a more to get the minion waves, poke the most down, get the tower low, and now we are not doing much again, a lot on the bot side. We have a Drake spawn in a couple of seconds, so this will also be the point of action in the next minutes. Yeah.
Yes, it's Drake spawning next plating. I mean, Dark Unique Q2 got so many platings right now, and Static is already finished. Both Gore Drinkers are finished, so Aatrox is not too far behind, but actually probably still is a lot behind because Renekton has a Gore Drinker much longer, and Aatrox just bought it now, so probably Renekton has enough for boots or something. 1000 gold. Oh, yeah, he had, but he bought pickaxe and boots, so not the upgraded boots. But he had enough gold for that, if you wanted. So I was correct, that's all I want to say. Anyway, the funny thing about this LeBlanc build, after the scaling was lost, is that now actually you don't one-shot waves anymore, but there are some LeBlancs who build minion dematerializer just to get some more minion damage. And then you can actually one-shot them and stuff, so there are just some crazy interactions right now with this item. But at the moment Frankie just does a good job. I mean, he sits there with 2 and 2 and 0, 0 and 2. There's just the same farm as his opponent, so nothing really fancy, but he will be a nuisance when we come to the later stages of the game, just because this champion is so annoying to play against.
Yes, also now 3k gold on the side of Dynasty, more than PERTINAX with 2 Drake gold lead. But the skirmishes go on the top side. We have the flash from Syndra. But Dynasty is not gonna leave it there. They're invading the jungle and seeing the Kha'Zix, and we have a lot of damage going to the Karma, but he jumps out, gets knocked down, and the hook goes not on the Kha'Zix, though Syndra gets the support and the next kill for Renekton. The 2v1 on the... okay, and it continues. Oh, they just cannot take it. PERTINAX just cannot take this fight.
I mean, they traded 3 for 1 on it in the end. You could exactly saw what the problem of this team comp is. They can't force. On the flip side, Umulu just presses ult, just presses hook, and just goes in. Hasagi can go in really quickly, while JJS more needs to play front to back, while Hasaki can actually just jump into them with 2 dashes and stuff, and even with the flash, of course. So it's just easier to play. They have easier CC, they have just easier engage, just easier ways to punish enemies, and it's just really difficult. And now both ADCs, I mean, Ezreal actually in this 1v1 can even try to kill Mr. Hub if he connects with some Qs. But there is Makala, so now Ezreal needs to play a little bit safer.
Yeah, also with this Nautilus, I think this really a nuisance for Kha'Zix because he just cannot show himself. As the moment he will show himself, he will just get that hook from that Nautilus, which we also saw now in the last team fight, that Nautilus is just gonna use his cooldowns on that assassin so that he has no free room to play against the more squishier champions in the Dynasty team.
The funny thing is, we could saw that Dark Unique try to stop the recall there, and maybe he could even try to flash on her. Just in the 1v1, he would probably kill her, so that would have been a funny play. Not worth probably, but at least funny. Dynasty gets their second Herald, so Humulu at the moment with 100% objective rate. Thanks to Heralds, so he is just a better jungler at the moment so far. Even though I like Makala, I kinda like Hulu, so would be quite exciting to see him in an interview. I don't know who will be the interview guest on both teams, but would be funny. And but at the moment, Dynasty looks just really good. And I mean, like I said, they came from a free game winning streak, so. With that being said, that could be the fourth one. And it's actually Crablord as the support if Dynasty wins, and Mr. Hub actually for PERTINAX. Oh, face check maybe.
Oh, we're getting the hook from Nautilus, but he gets stunned back. Saya uses the ulti to react to the play, but Kha'Zix get the kills on the Nautilus. We see the next TP, but Aatrox is running down to Ezreal. Not leaving him. Okay, he's leaving him.
And I think we saw two important things in this fight. First was, if PERTINAX gets engaged, then they can just burst down the engaging target, like the Nautilus with Braum. That definitely worked out. But also, that this team does not have the best communication so far. Oh, catch maybe on Hasagi.
Nekton gets caught by the team, but he just got too much damage and just cannot play this out. Also,
how much he healed. He was just full life again.
It was a great survive, but Dynasty just got the better hand in that play.
In the end, Dynasty gets the third Drake, but at least some strengths of the PERTINAX team comp are clear. You have good single target lockdown, and of course with Kha'Zix a lot of single target damage, so that's the reason why they could take down Hasagi. But we also saw a big communication misplay by PERTINAX with their new top laner. I mean, he teleported in after the play was basically over. You could see that all the members already run out, and then after the teleport they decided to, okay, let's move in, but then there was no dive, because you can't dive there. So this teleport was just not really well communicated. Maybe just for safety measures, teleporting in is always a good option, just to show your team that you stay with them. But yeah, it was just maybe miscommunication in the end. And then they lost the Drake because of this team fight where Hasagi just like survived so much with Godrinker and powered Q. It was so much healing, holy, that it was almost close. But in the end, PERTINAX was at least strong enough to kill him. But now they need to play every single Drake from now, because it's Drake Soul, Drake Point, Soul Point, and with that, PERTINAX has a really rough time upon them.
Also in gold, and PERTINAX made it to get the balance a little bit up, though they're still 2k behind in gold. Still a lot of activity on the top side. We miss hook from the Nautilus, but gets out after the flash.
Yeah, Humulu is playing really aggressive. Probably not that many
We got an all-in from Enactum, but doesn't see that there are 2 or more people. Gets chain CC, then just cannot escape after Rodrigo. I just gets killed by Vexaya. We have the TP follow-up from Syndra. And now it is 4v5. We get caught, but Syndra gets caught with the ulti. Oof, flash from LeBlanc, but gets caught also from Syndra again.
This is... right now Dynasty just plays in the hands of PERTINAX. Like I said, their team comp all around is just basically about getting engaged and just focusing down one target again and again with Braum. And that's exactly what they do. Like Hazagi jumps in, they can just burst it down. Graplord was there, just burst it down. And then Frankie jumps in and then just sits into 4 members and just get bursted down. So this team comp just works perfectly if you get engaged. And at the moment, Dynasty thinks they need to do that. But I believe that they would rather try to force those objectives and let the enemies engage, because then, because the engage isn't that good, you can just kite it out with Karma, just poke them out with Karma, Ezreal, and engage after that. So at the moment I believe that PERTINAX just plays their team comp a little bit better, but just because Dynasty does those many small misplays.
We got the CC from Syndra and tries to follow up with Kha'Zix and gets the kill after she ults LeBlanc, and there was no way to get out. So now we are having a 5-2 Syndra with a 300 gold shutdown. I mean, that is pretty good for PERTINAX.
Yeah, playing really solid right now. Especially Syndra now with 2 items. She is such a strong champion right now. I mean, Drake is spawning in 1 minute and they definitely need to fight it. Now the big question becomes, did they time all those summoners? Because then they knew that Hazagi has no flash, that Frankie has no flash, Shumulu no flash, and Dark Unique, basically nobody has flash. So if they know that, then they can try to play around that, just play for a sneaky flash ult from Braum or something, just to catch those targets with no flash. If they did not time it, then it gets a little bit harder. But still, they need to get engaged, and they shouldn't try to go for engage on their own.
And there is the action, because they're going for that Nautilus. Nautilus tries to go back, but gets the hook on the Braum. It's like they're building up this wall between those 2 teams, always trying to poke in and out, and Nautilus tries to grab, but did not get the grab, and there is the finish on the Ezreal with the Syndra ulti.
And it's so funny to see. The moment I said they should not engage, Aatrox runs in, almost dies. And then the moment that they get engaged, they just instantly kill Ezreal. So basically, I know exactly how those teamfights will play out because of team comps, and they should definitely play to their strengths and not to their weaknesses.
So after 3 Drakes, PERTINAX made it. They made it to contest the Drake. They got their Hextech Drake. That is good for PERTINAX. Also, gold-wise, we see that they are slowly but surely always making their way up to get that even gold economy against Dynasty. Also, now that Drake is down on bot side, next objective is on top side, so there will be a lot of activity. We already see that the Nautilus is kind of looking for it, kind of playing for the vision, kind of playing for the wards.
Yeah, they should do that. I mean, Baron is on the table, and as long as the PERTINAX needs to engage, that's totally fine for Dynasty. So they should just try to start this Baron and let PERTINAX do a misplay. And so far, I mean, even though I think with that many kills now on Syndra, they can definitely try to poke for themselves and just burst someone. That's something that shouldn't be possible normally for them, but now with those many kills, with those many misplays by Dynasty, they actually got a little bit back into the game. And I don't believe that it's a good idea for PERTINAX to start Baron, because then they will just get poked down and probably engaged, and that's at the Baron pit. It could be really dangerous. So PERTINAX needs to be safe, just needs to tighten the choke point with Braum ultimate, and hope that they get engaged. And at the moment they have big problems with the Plonk on the sideline, because they will just lose tier 2 turret for nothing. Because Syndra wanted to flank, nobody was defending the spotline turret, and so Dynasty just gets something for nothing.
Also, Syndra still keeping strong with that 6-2, and it is a 350 gold shot down on her. I mean, having that Syndra fed and really strong shouldn't be such a bad idea, since she has the potential to like having this crowd control damage. Yeah.
Yeah, now the game becomes slow, because both teams know exactly that their way to play this game so far did not work out, or I mean, PERTINAX can't do anything, so they are the reacting team anyways. So that's the reason why they do not do anything aggressive right now. And Dynasty somehow realize that they can't really play for those engages. I mean, they have a poke comp, and they always try to go for YOLO Renekton engage. So they need to start playing for side lane. They need, because I said those side laners are really, really strong. LeBlanc probably now gets stunked by Syndra, but at least Renekton is still strong enough to win the 1v1. And just play for poke, just play for side lane, instead of just playing for engages. And PERTINAX, yeah, just sitting there doing nothing is a good way to scale, right? So and just wait for the next Drake. I mean, both sides can wait for the next Drake, but the problem is PERTINAX need to fight for that, so they can't let it drop. And I think that's the big win condition right now for Dynasty.
So next Drake will be up very soonish, which I think is something Dynasty really wants to have. We started seeing the first pings and the first place, maybe putting someone into the gray screen before Drake spawns. So, oh, we having the DP. We see a lot of action on the bot side jungle of PERTINAX. I mean, they're looking just for that engage to pick someone.
Yeah, at the moment they play for the poke. Exactly what they need to do in such a situation. Just poke them, don't engage them, and don't get stunned, and then it's all they need to do. Just poke. Nautilus should never hook here. They should just try to peel against Kha'Zix, because the hook is really, really strong if Kha'Zix jumps in. And just look at the health bars.
Yeah,
Mr. Harp is almost dead, Makala is almost dead. So yeah, this poke is just so strong, and that's exactly how they should play it. Because this engage with Renekton Nautilus into Braum is not working, and now they realized it, and now they got soul for free. And now the poke is even stronger because the slows, so other poke spells will hit, and yeah, they can just play the same thing they did with Soul. Can they do with Baron? Just sit at Baron pit, poke, and start. And then it's almost not losable for Dynasty.
I think they played this really nicely and like disciplined to just going for the pokes, go back, and you just had that feeling that like PERTINAX didn't really realize what was going to happen with them, because they, even though getting poked down, they just tried to push this wave, try to kind of get that vision phase, check it, I will call it, even though no bush, but like going for the vision, going for that for that close, like staying on the limit of the ranges, and like in Dynasty they just took advantage of that situation. Like really hardly. You could see how that LeBlanc just like had fun jumping in and just proccing the statics procs and putting in some spells in.
Yeah, like there's no good counter to this LeBlanc. You have no quick hard CC. You have no. Oh, Makala jumps in.
A lot of damage from Makala, but got caught. A lot of skirmishes on the mid lane.
It was a really big hero play actually. I mean, you almost one-shotted both bot laners just by jumping in alone. I mean, that's what I mean about Makala. He is just such a he's just the main carry of his team. And oh,
gets stunned by Syndra, and the ulti follows up, and LeBlanc gets finished by Syndra. We have the Guardian Angel proccing, but this is not enough, and Renekton falls to PERTINAX.
Yeah,
this is
now
2 kills, yeah.
And now you fight can just teleport in. Makala needs to make the smite play ready. Oh, he doesn't need to, and that's just fair. And like again, Renekton just alone and 4 people dying. The Bronc is not respecting Syndra dying. I mean, both times they just almost got caught, face checked, whatever, and they did not play around what they need to play around, right? LeBlanc should not be on side lane, she should poke, like you saw how good it is. And Renekton should be on side lane, not somehow walking through crushes and getting face checked and stuff. That's not how the game how this team comp works, and that's exactly what PERTINAX right now is punishing.
And now a really aggressive play on the mid lane that made Karma flash. And we just had all in engage from Ezreal amidst a lot of damage on support, but he just gets away. We have the Renekton jumping into the backline, just finishing the bot lane. I mean, there's nothing they could do because they were all out of cooldown.
Yeah, they just overstay it. And again, the poke was just too strong. And then they just lose such a fight. And it's so sad to see what PERTINAX, that they get such a good catch and then somehow throw it away again. And now, probably, in my opinion, Dynasty should wait 2 minutes and play for Elder Drake. I mean, their split push is not working. They don't want to split with Renekton. So just sit there, 2 minutes, wait out Baron, start Elder, poke them out, and just do it. I mean, it's so easy to say it, but it's really easy to play it actually. And they know they just need to wait 2 minutes, and maybe Renekton gets caught here.
We have 3 people on top side going to the Renekton and stunning him and using cooldown, but this is not enough to survive the 3-man gang on top side.
They should just wait 2 minutes and not getting caught. But it does not work out right now. And yeah, I mean, PERTINAX is now even ahead in gold. And I mean, this game was dead lost. In my opinion, this game was dead lost for PERTINAX in draft from the first 10 minutes. But actually, somehow, Dynasty does not want to win it. And they just throw it away and throw it away and throw it away. And now we have a pretty close game. Elder Drake is spawning in 40 seconds, and whoever secures it can probably win the game. So, and I expect like a hero play by Makala. I mean, he did so many crazy plays right now with his Kha'Zix. He found so many great engages that I believe Makala will maybe make or break it in this next fight.
I just want to make this little side note that just Makala is just exploding the Twitch chat by his plays. I mean, the whole Twitch chat is just going insane for Makala. I'm enjoying this. And we're having the jump in where Renekton gets caught by Aatrox and he's getting all the damage after taking the ulti, but can go away because they will not continue. But Xayah eats a lot of damage from LeBlanc, and we have the re-engage with the ulti follow-up from Braum, but this is a mess because we have the supports just falling down, and we are a 4-man team surviving at the moment. 4v4.
Yeah, but the good thing is, Makula still lives, Humulu died, so no smite for Dynasty, and now maybe even PERTINAX can start this Baron and they even teleport in, so that could be a really, really crazy play by them. Oh, Makula is so low. He needs to get something from his team.
Oof. A lot of damage on Xayah with that ability, but just Aatrox is just rolling over them, and that poor Renekton that just gets caught because he's too late with the teleport, having the 1v1 with the Aatrox, but the Blunt jumps into the ability and gets caught by Makula, and Makula just destroys them. Oof, with the follow-up from the Syndra ulti, and we get the second proc from Guardian Angel, but getting bursted again from Xayah.
Yeah, and like I said, Makula makes or breaks this game. And in this case, especially like this last couple of engages and in the last fight, one of them basically is Elder Drake. He survived, which won him basically the Elder Drake instead of Humulu dying. The first engage onto Renekton with Aatrox, Renekton is way too tanky. Makula should have respected that. He can't burst Renekton there, especially not with their stance. And then Makula dropped really, really low. And because of that, it looked bad. And then there was a really good engage from Frankie onto Mr. Hub, who actually tried to kill him again after Mr. Hub came back. But in the end, especially the JJS together with JU fight played this team fight so spectacular. Stun into Q, into stun into Q and stuff. So they just won it, and now we have 25 Magi stacks actually on the Syndra. And Elder Drake with Baron. So Dynasty needs to push out every single lane now. And just wait. Don't fight, don't get caught. You can't protect the inhibs, you can't. So just let them finish your inhibs. You don't care. Just don't protect the inhibs, because you will not win a fight. You can't, basically. And they just should know that.
I mean, we do have this almost 10k difference in gold for PERTINAX, so if they would take this fight, this would happen. I mean, this would end. That would be the end of the game. So in letting them take the base, I mean, this is a bad situation then for the rest of the map, but at least they have this situation where they can just like farm free XP still for the ESLOL and the support, also Nautilus, and get free gold. I mean, that's the most important, the free gold.
Yeah, and I think they can still push. I don't know why they won away now, or maybe Elder Drake actually is soon to be done. And then it should be 2.5 minutes, right? So they still have 1 minute Elder Drake maybe? Or is it over after the next 10 seconds? Because Elder Drake has spawning time of 6 minutes maybe. So it's 2.5 minutes and then it runs out, right? I believe so. They might have it, I don't know. I can't see it anyway. But they got one inhib and now they can just play around bot lane, because they should not push mid lane, they should not push top lane, they should push bot lane, because it's the biggest gap between top and bot. So super minions will be top, they will push us 5 bot, and then someone needs to defend top lane, and if someone defends top lane, they can just do the bot lane turrets. So it's just the cleanest macro from here. I would not push mid lane, even though they know they want to do it. They want to play the 4-1. I believe the 5-0 on bot lane would be stronger, because they don't want to play this poking 4v4 style where they maybe get a turret. I would much rather want to force with this top lane wave, and that's exactly what they now do. And they still have one wave of Baron minions. I believe Baron has 3 minutes or something. So they still have some seconds left and two Canyon minions, so they can siege it, but they need to protect them. So maybe even face check those Qs. Yeah, as we're just clearing it. That's not good by PERTINAX. They should have protected the canyons. They're just jumping into those Qs. Yeah, now they have no Baron buff, and they need probably to reset now.
I think they were really scared that moment, but they should have just gone for it because they have this gold lead, they had the Baron, they had the minion. Though I have to say that Dynasty played it also very well. I mean, we could see this re-behavior like we saw in the mid lane before, this really clean poking with the abilities that everybody used one ability to get also the Drake proc out and just clean the wave away. I mean, that was really nicely played.
Yeah, definitely. They just try to survive, and I mean it's Soul, so they still have if Baron and some Elder Drake is gone, they still have Soul, so their buff is endless. And with that, there are still hopes and dreams. I mean, they have the poke comp, so all they need to do is just poke. Because there's no real engage, so they cannot really be punished. But they need to start it soon, because actually Elder Drake is spawning. And fighting Elder Drake is dangerous, especially against the Syndra. And yeah, just one bad face check and this game could be over.
It doesn't really look like that they have an idea where PERTINAX is at the moment. Or they just don't care and just want to go for the push because they are behind them and just not going for an aggressive play.
It's not a good teleport.
And it was a little bit late.
Yeah, and I mean you can just being bursted there, so it's just really risky for him to play it. Oh, Makula maybe with a crazy play.
Makula going for the element support, but super, and he flashes over and still gets the kill.
He just is an assassin indeed. And now Elder Drake is spawned, and Karma is maybe not the best or maybe not the most important asset of this team comp, but still she provides the disengage, she provides the poke, so without her fighting Elder Drake could be dangerous.
And that was the secured Elder Drake for PERTINAX. I mean, they traded the Drake for the mid lane inhib. Should it be worth, should it not be worth? I mean, on the side of Dynasty, their inhib on top side came back up, so they go take one mid lane before the Baron spawn. Okay. But in my opinion, was not worth the trade, because now if PERTINAX does force the fight, they have a 10k gold lead. I mean, that is something to be considered.
Yeah, and now the Baron gets taken down. And they still have 1 minute 30 Elder with 3 minutes Baron, and can probably just siege up. Maybe now is the time for the 4-1 just to crack down top lane inhib again. But they should focus down one inhib after a time, I would say. And please just fan to Canyon minions, because the Canyon minions have so much range, and with them you can easily finish after you wait a little bit. But you need to protect them actively.
And this time they're in front of the tower. They're going for the engage, but they escaped it. No, they got finished by the burn. We have a lot of damage coming in. Drum trying to contest it with the ulti jump in, but gets deleted. Renekton coming back up again with the Guardian's Angel, but this is not enough to keep the base safe. And slowly but surely, this is game for PERTINAX.
Yeah, well played. What a game there. by PERTINAX. What a defensive game. I mean, they just waited out. They took all the time in the world, lost soul. They don't care. In the end, Dynasty couldn't play out their team comp. Dynasty couldn't go for the poke. They just didn't know how to finish with split push, and in the end, they just did too many bad engages into the PERTINAX team comp, lost them, and then just waited out a little bit too much, and then maybe even got outscaled. But it's hard to say. But it was just insanely played by PERTINAX.
I mean, for me, it's always, again, this sign of you can have a really good draft, but you can also have a bad draft, but just have a better execution. And in my opinion, this was, again, the best example to show that even though objectively people not liking your draft, if you perform it better than your opponent having a good draft, it does fall in your favor.
Yeah, definitely. I think we still need to wait a little bit for the interview. But I mean, basically I would not have predicted this win. I actually thought that Dynasty is just a better team and just knows how to win. But in the end, and I believe Makala said it in the interview, he said Dynasty looks strong on paper, but is not quite playing as a team. And I think that's definitely the thing we saw. That something is missing. Something the Dynasty team does not make click, you could say in German. It's just it's not like like the gears, like the cogs. Yeah, it's not running in each other. It's more like everybody works individually, and I don't know.
Exactly. But we do also have an interview. We have a person that really wants to talk here with us because they won the game.
Yeah.
And I think
I don't know if I think they're still setting it up, but we will talk actually with Mr. Hub. So the ADC of PERTINAX just won a clutch game on Saya, and like I said, is one of the shining lights of this team actually, in my opinion, and always a good one, you could say, always a good one.
Yes. Also, though, what I really like to see was this LeBlanc on the mid lane with the static play. I mean, it's through the whole game, it just showed to be so efficient, like on this farming method for just getting your wave and do something else on the map, or just to poke down the enemy to get him low. Like it was like, I really like that.
Yeah, I think efficient is the correct word, but not broken. And like on last patch she was broken, and you could see it everywhere, and then she dropped out of the meta because she's not broken anymore. And Frankie just showed us why she is still strong and why static is still really strong, but why it is not being played anymore, because it's not too strong, and a good played Syndra actually has more value. But the question is he ready or is he not? And we can maybe ask, because I have so many questions. So many.
I would have one or two questions too, but unfortunately we cannot get all those questions on the table, so let's just try to cook up the best questions so that everybody's question marks get like blown away.
I don't know, I have a choke question.
A choke question, okay.
I have a choke question, I have a draft question, and
I have a third question. I will be the third question.
No, let my choke question be the last one.
Okay.
But I can start with draft, and you can ask something for the game probably, and then I can make the choke question as the last one maybe. Because we take so much time right now, I don't know when the next series needs to start, so I don't know if we have too much time at least. And there he is, probably the man of the match, the ADC, the most important piece of PERTINAX. Hello, Mr. Up.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect, perfect.
Are you doing it with your phone right now?
All right, nice. Yeah, I'm sinning a bit. I'm always using Discord on my phone.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, let's start with the draft. You guys drafted the Braum probably into the Nautilus, and then Nautilus got flags into the jungle. Was it something you guys expected? Did you get caught off guard? What was it like when you saw it?
Yeah, we really thought it was Naut support, so we were like a bit fucked. And then they picked like Karma into Braum, so lane was like really rough into Ezreal Karma. But at least we got the Kha'Zix jungle, and he kind of carried the game, so it worked out in the end.
Okay. How do you want to compare your performance as a team, like on the 5th week compared to the 1st week?
Well, I feel like we started off like pretty strong. We had a pretty good game against Rift in the first game, and then we won the second game, I think. I'm not sure what it was, but we had some like player issues where our top side was going on vacation and all of that shit. So we were kind of like getting back into the swing of things.
I think we just had some sound issues.
Yeah,
yes, we can hear him getting okay.
Okay, perfect. It works. Yeah, but it gets better. Do you? I mean, I asked the question Makala as well. Do you believe you have what it takes to get into players?
Well, I guess I hope so. I think we've had some good games. We had some rough games. But yeah, we'll just have to win. I'm not sure how many, but if we just win every match from now, we should be able to get into the top 4. And if we just keep improving and not fucking up early game and just throwing the game away late, yeah, maybe.
Okay, perfect. One last question for you. The name Mr. Hub, has it some bigger meaning, or where does it come from?
Yeah, no, it's actually like really silly, because my name is Hiddebakker, so that's where the H and the B stand for, and 1804, like my birthday is on like 18th of April, so it's really stupid. But like an old-time friend of mine who actually introduced me to Lee was also called like this, right? So it's like initials and his birthday date. So then I just sort of copied it, and then we played a lot of duo, and that's where it comes from, basically.
Ah, cool. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hub, for the interview. Thank you for having us, and I wish you best of luck for the, of course, upcoming week. I think your next match day is against Full Clear. Any last words for this match? Do you believe that you can take down Full Clear?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And against Full Clear, yeah, we're just gonna get that W. We kind of threw it away last time. We were in a really good position, and this time we will not.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, with this confidence, I'm gonna say we're gonna go confidently into the break, and with that, we're going to have the last match, which is going to be next against Aurora. Can't wait. Want to see.
It's maybe the fastest break you ever saw on the Rift channel. So let's go into the smallest break ever.